Hey everybody, this is Ian from the Web Designers Academy, and this is a really cool behind-the-scenes video. A lot of times when I'm browsing the internet, I'll find a page on some website that looks really cool, and I wonder, how did they do that exactly? Well, this video is going to answer that question for 2 pages. We recently updated 2 pages on our website, the resources page, which you see here, and the WP triggers page, which you see here. So let's start with the resources page. This is currently what the resources page looks like now, but what I do want to show you is what it was. So using the Wayback Machine, this is a snapshot from March 16th, and here you can see what the page basically looked like. It was texts with some text bookmark links that bookmarked down to the individual sections. There was no images, there was no colored sections. This is what it looked like. It was a little boring, but it got the job done. So let's close this. So let me show you what it looks now. We have an icon for each section, and of course each section bookmarks down. And each section alternates a light gray color and then a white color. And we tried to put at least one picture in each section. In some sections we split into 3 columns. So it's a lot more visually interesting. So let me show you how this is done, and it's really easy. There's a really awesome plugin, and take a look at the notes to this video and I'll give you a link. But here's what you can do with it. If you take a look at this section right here, this where it says we thought it would be useful, that refers to this right here. See, this isn't just like a regular page. You have different sections and different ways to customize it. So after this opening paragraph, here we have all the little icons. And how we created this was we came over here, and you can choose whether you want, let's say, a half and half or 2/3 and 1/3. But because we knew we wanted a total of 12 different sections, we chose, I believe it's 1/6. Let me see. Yeah, here we go, 1/6. But we could have chosen anything. And when you do that, then it makes these columns for you. And then you can add in any type of element that you want. Here's all the elements that you could add in. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but I just want to stick to the actual page. So all we did was we threw in a text block, and when you edit any one of these, let's see. Here you can see it's basically just the icon and the word for the category. And that bookmarks down. It's like, for example, when we click on web hosting, it bookmarks you down to the web hosting section. So right after all these little thumbnails that bookmark down, here we get into the sections. And this is how that first link knows where to bookmark. We threw in a raw HTML element, and we just added the bookmark code. Whoa, I moved it. For web hosting. And you'll notice that each of them, like this one's domains, each section has its own little bookmark code. But let's take a look at this for a second. So this first section, which is web hosting, let me go here. Here it is. And you can tell it has like a gray background. And of course it has the right aligned image over here. So in regards to the content, it's pretty simple, just like you'd imagine. We have some text and a right-aligned image. Here we go. But in regards to the color, if you come here, you can click on row settings, and we can choose, I believe it's background, single color, and we chose a light gray. We chose the same light gray. Now we could have chose a gradient, an image, YouTube video, a hosted video, but we just chose gray. And of course, we chose gray for this one, but we chose just white for this one. So let me close this. So scrolling down here, this is all basically the same. We alternated images left and right just to mix it up. But this is a little different as well. So down to WordPress Plugins, let's come down here. Here we have WordPress Plugins. And so instead of the 1/6/1/6/1/6 that we had where the thumbnails are, this one is just going to be a new row. We just had thirds, so this is 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. And of course we can edit any of these items just by clicking on the little pencil here. So that's essentially the resources page. We think it's a lot more visually interesting and a lot easier to get around. And of course it's full width as opposed to the other one was just, it had a sidebar. So let's move on. I'm going to close resources, and that takes us to WP triggers. So this is the WordPress plugin that we have, and you'll see right at the top we have a Buy Now button with a blue stripe which matches the tab, gives it a nice look. And then we have this image here, and then scrolling down we have this graphic that kind of explains how it works. And then we have examples of what you can do with the plugin. But what I want to show you, and I'm just going to scroll slowly. You see that at the bottom of the screen? See how it sort of grew? Watch, I'm going to do it again. Watch the two icons. Watch. See that right there? Just a little bit of eye candy on each of these. So I think we have one more row. There we go. And then after that, we have an image with a little bit of parallax going on here. Now watch the button over here. Watch this. It's going to just slowly appear, just subtly. See that? Just a little eye candy. And then under here we have questions and answers. And of course you can click on any of these and the answers display. So, knowing all that, let me show you how this is all done. Let's go back here. So this top section right here, this is just some HTML with a, see this little circle right here? So it's a blue background, and of course the blue is the same blue that's here. And if you just look at it, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of depth, but this link, the first link bookmarks down to examples. So see examples, bookmarks down. And then we have a buy now button, which is going to link out to Code Canyon. So here is, let's see. Oh, it actually links to the, we have another plugin that helps track links. So WP triggers buy. So that's that blue section. And here we have a few things. So here we have a spacer at the top. So we're talking about this section right here, from here to here. We start with a spacer of 20 pixels, and we have a spacer of 220 pixels down the bottom. See how it's a lot closer, these words here are a lot closer to the top than the bottom, and that's how we do that. And of course, there's an image back there. It's the guy with the bike. So if we click on the little pencil, we have row settings here. And let's go to background, and you'll see that we chose a simple background image, and you just click on this button and you upload your image. So that's how that's done. And I'm just looking, this is done with a little icon here. Well, when you click on just icon, you have a bunch of options, and you can pick any icon you want. So you have all these. There's a done. And towards the bottom, I believe, yeah, we have a little animation that fades down. And so continuing along, we have this section right here, which is just some text and a picture. So that refers to this. And of course, we made the background gray. You already know how we did that. And then we have the examples. So coming down here, so you see, so this block right here, this is, let's say, the zip code search block. It has the icon, it has the text, and it has the see this recipe link. So let's just look at this for a second. And of course, it has a gray background. So when you click on see this recipe, it actually opens up a light box, and that's just an image. That's pretty easy to understand. And we actually did that to show people how to actually create the demos that you see on the page. So for example, this little demo right here, let's say that we type in 33615, it's going to display this right here. So we can just type in 33615, hit check. There we have it. Yes, we delivered to your area. So each of these things that say see this recipe shows the person how to actually make this work. But let me show you how it's done in the admin area. So we start by this image. Remember how it sort of appeared from the center, it kind of grew a little bit? Well, this is just a single image, and we chose the icon. And scrolling down, you'll see here it is. CSS animation appear from center. So that's what makes it sort of give that little bit of eye candy, makes it grow. And of course, you did the same thing all the way around. Oh, actually, you know what? One thing I should talk about is see how it's overlapped? Kind of gives it a cool effect. And let me see if I remember how we did that. I believe it's just negative bottom margin, but hold on. Let's see. Oh, yeah, right here. See this negative 75 pixels? So that's margin. See this right here? This is the outside. So that's margin. So it takes negative 75 pixels from the bottom. So that's what sucks the gray section underneath it. And of course, we measured it out so that 75 pixels would be split it right in the middle. So that's how it overlaps like that. And so all these are done exactly the way that I just said. And then let's come down to here. It says, what will you create WP triggers? Let's close this. And keep scrolling. Oh, here it is. So now you don't actually see that background image here, but to actually edit that background image, we would just click on this. And this is the row settings. And here we have a background. And we have a little bit of vertical parallax on scroll. And here's that image of the guy sitting on the wall. So that's why when it goes like this, there's a little bit of parallax. You know, it kind of shifts it a little bit as you're scrolling. And we only have words on one side because the guy was on the other. So what we did here was we just split it into two different columns. So if you look, that's why this is 1/2 plus 1/2. We just left the left half blank because we didn't want anything over the guy's face. And of course the button had that little animation. I believe it sort of slid up from the bottom a little bit. Let's see if we can see where that is. So we just browse to the image, and here we have, yeah, right here, CSS animation bottom to top. But we could have chose anything, appear from center or top to bottom, but we left it at bottom to top. And the last section is questions and answers. And this is done using just an FAQ element. And you can edit any one of them just by clicking on this little pencil right here. So let's click on one of them. And so you type in the question here, and then you type in the answer. And then it makes it automatically do this for you. Okay? So that's how you create those two pages. And I mean, of course, you could do all this by hand using CSS, you know, if you wanted to take the time to do that. But doing it this way, you're going to save a lot of time, and it's a lot easier to edit than just, you know, miles of HTML and CSS code. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you have any questions or comments, leave it below. Thanks.